Hello, everyone. Nice to see everybody coming in. Hi, Allison. Great to see you. We need to catch up.
Hey, Dave.
Um, Nick, great to see you here as well. Everybody, welcome. This is a new kind of session for our CX on the Rocks community focused on career and consulting. Maybe some of you are wondering what the next step in your career as a CX practitioner might be and how to future proof your career, as Brad says. Some of you may be curious about independent consulting, and Valerie and Stacy and I can answer your questions, or some of you may be ready to go and start your consultancy. And we've got Valerie that can talk about that as well. So, the way today will work is we'll do quick intros from the panel, me, Brad, Valerie, and Stacy, and then we'll just take your questions, and I'll function as a moderator and take your question and try and find one of our four experts here who can help. So let's kick us off. Brad, introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey everybody. I'm Brad Smith. I've been doing customer experience for quite a few years, holding CX positions at Symantec and overseeing CX at Yahoo and Sage Software, and for the past 10 years, running my own consultancy and helping companies all around the globe figure out their customer experience in EX. I'm also a former board member of the CXPA and a certified customer experience professional. The last thing is that this title of this session is going to be an online class offering that we're going to be kicking off in August. So hopefully there's some interest here, and we'll see if anybody wants to continue the conversation.
Awesome. All right, Valerie.
Hi, everybody. I'm Valerie Peck. I also have been a little bit of everything, a practitioner, a consultant, a vendor, a software developer over the last 30 years. I'm old. And I'm excited to be here. And as David mentioned, I've got actually a course that I've just done with my 30 years of going down every possible rabbit hole in consulting. And hopefully I can share some ideas and tips and tales from the trenches as we go along.
Thanks, Valerie. Stacy.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here and see some of you I know and some I haven't. So looking forward to knowing everybody. I am a keynote speaker and thought leader, founder of Doing CX Right, and took all of my 25-year career in marketing, sales, and customer experience and turned it into a business 2.5 years ago to help people boost revenue, retention, and brand reputation through intentional design. And so I've been in many of your shoes, having made the transition and boosted, my own brand by doing certain things right. And so we're going to share that with you today.
Awesome. Thanks, Stacy. And I'm Dave Seaton. I also was a CX practitioner after a really varied career from computer programming. That's where I started as a user interface designer back before there was a such thing as user experience. We just called them GUIs, graphical user interfaces. To doing back-end programming, to leading customer support, to doing Lean Six Sigma, and ultimately leading the first customer experience department for my company, although they didn't call it that. That's really what it was. And then coming out of the pandemic in 2021, I quit my corporate job to be an independent consultant. You probably, if you've heard of me, you've probably seen me in the context of journey mapping. That's a specialty for my consulting company. But about 11 months ago, I launched a side project to help other independent consultants find clients. Because what I've found, what was definitely true for me, is you can be really, really good at what you do, but you have to be just as good at winning the work if you want to succeed as an independent consultant. So we are all together as part of the CX on the Rocks community. If you're not part of our online community, I'd encourage you to join as a free member. Kellen is going to drop those links into the chat. CX on the Rocks is a new community that our founder, Sean Albertson, launched this year to bring together CX professionals from all walks and have these kind of conversations about how our industry is evolving, what's next for customer experience management, and how to future-proof our careers so that we can continue supporting customers and bringing value to our companies. So today's session, it's just a big Q&A. Whether you've got careers or whether you've got questions about advancing your career as a practitioner, whether you're curious about independent consulting and you want to know what that road is like, or building a consultancy as Valerie has done, whether you want to talk about building your personal brand on LinkedIn. Stacy has a lot of expertise about that. We are here to take your questions and to help. So you can unmute yourself and ask a question, raise your hand using the Zoom controls. I'll call on you, or type it in the chat.
Yes, so Dave, pretty much everything you just cited, 100% want to know all about, but I know we have limited time. So, so from the future proofing perspective, and personally, in terms of me being proactive about creating opportunities for myself and establishing a roadmap for myself, I am taking a multi-pronged approach. Literally, this past Monday, I went to the CEO. It was so nerve-wracking. To say my piece in terms of like the experienced team and the impact we're having on the organization, and also to ask the question directly, where do you see this team evolving? How can we have greater impact? And also promote myself personally, sharing with him that I would like to continue to grow and learn, don't want to get comfortable. So I think that it was definitely my first step into being more proactive and outspoken, and more in the driving seat of my career. The way he responded to me is pretty much the ball is in my court and I need to lead the way and tell him what that looks like.
Okay.
In addition, I know, so I was like, okay, good, okay.
Careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
I know. So I'm like, okay, let me take it. What does that look like? Next steps, right? Should I just kind of pull everything together for him? I don't want to assume he knows everything that's happening, all the pilots we've done, the impact we're having. So I'm like, okay, should I just take a step back and create like a full presentation to go back to him and say, okay, here's everything we've done. Here's where I see the direction of this team, opportunities. And most importantly as well, apart from me, is my team. I want them to have some sort of growth. They don't see it right now. There is no specific position that's currently existing for them to take into the next step except my position. And the same thing for me. I have one boss who's a VP and that's my next. There's nothing else that I see, right? That is an opportunity. And I did say that to him. So that's one aspect. So we can just focus there, and then I'll let Matty go. And then if we segue into the independent part, because I'm also thinking about that, we can have that organically come up.
Great.
My thoughts.
We can put a pin in this and capture everybody else's stuff and then come back to it. Do you want to do that, Dave, or how would you like?
Brad, why don't you first weigh in on that CEO request? Like, what should Angie or anyone else do in that situation where the CEO is saying, "Hey, the ball's in your court. You tell me what should happen next"?
So, I would want to know if the CEO is a true believer in customer experience and its benefits for the company or not. So I'd want to gauge, do they understand that, improving customer experience saves costs and it saves customers and it drives revenue, and we care about the customer journey and we care about seeing the company from the outside in. I'd also want to make sure that the CEO understands what are your branded promises that you're pushing out there into the marketplace. And every time a customer has an interaction with your company, they have an impression as to they want to do more business with you or less business with you, right? So I test those waters. But what I'd want to do is I'd want to make sure that whatever current CX findings you have today, make sure they're relevant to his and or her stated leadership agenda for this fiscal year and the next 2 fiscal years. So make sure it's in context where they're trying to grow and it's not coming out of left field. But yeah, I think you owe them a readout. And so I think walking in saying, here's what I know to be true, here's why it's a problem, and here's why it's important to help us grow. I think hammering home those 3 points, you've opened up the door, so take advantage of it.
That's why I love you, Brad, because I almost said the same thing in a note on chat. My only addition was that you might want to do a little 2x2 of feasibility, impact, cost,
Sure.
and timing, and say, this is all of what we're doing. How do we help you more? Which just does a less than subtle, but we're not sitting around just waiting for great accolades. We're doing a lot. How do we help you more? So brilliant, Brad, as usual.
Awesome. And then I mean, I'm looking at the clock. This meeting's half over, so I'd like to move on. Maddie,
Sorry, guys.
did you
Hey,
have a
everybody.
question? No, you're great, Angie.
Hey, Viva, I'm also in Toronto. I think I have kind of a simple question, which I've been I think I have an answer to, but I would love to get some confirmation, which is just around I am starting my own consultancy, and the intention really is for just to be me. I don't have dreams of growing a big consulting firm and having other consultants work for me or anything like that. It's really just me going out primarily to startups and younger companies to kind of get CX into their brains earlier than they normally would. I feel like there's an opportunity there to kind of get them aligned to it while they're still pre-launch funding ready to go so that they have an idea of what to do. Initially, I was just going to create a sole proprietorship because it is just me. And I was given some advice that I really should incorporate, not so much for the indemnity or the sort of the financial reasons to incorporate or the liability or any of those things, because I don't think that's actually a big deal, but more for the credibility side of it. And I just wanted to know if you guys had any thoughts around that. Do you think it is actually, in terms of credibility of going to clients, is being incorporated a big differentiator? Does it make any difference?
You live in Toronto?
Yeah.
So that's weird. I can't tell you. I live in California, and I chose to become an S corp versus an LLC versus a sole
Yeah, we
proprietor.
don't have those.
So
I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, the quick answer from my perspective is for some clients it matters, and for some clients you will have to be paid as a business for them to work with you. Valerie,
Okay, so
any?
really just it's an advantage in terms of how they want me to bill and that kind of thing. And
I would
given the
talk to your tax person, your lawyer, and your
Yeah.
insurance person, because that's probably going to impact you more financially and what your clients are going to ask for. The cost to insure, the cost to do some other things is more if you have more liability, which might be with the sole practitioner versus some type of incorporation.
Okay.
And then the second piece of that is your ability to set up things like 401k SEP type products, where as a corporate entity is probably, Brad, what you found out is, there's a lot of financial opportunity to create small savings accounts and things like that
Yep.
allow you to put away money differently and more cost effectively than if you're a sole practitioner. Right.
Sure,
So
assuming any
again,
money
because I
comes
don't know
in.
the Canadian model for that, but that I think, rather than having LLC or CXPA or whatever by your right name, that is where the rubber's going. The operation side, that's where it's going to matter more than having it by your name. In my experience.
I've had clients that are at the small level, 5-person company, Blink Mascara, and I've had customers at a super huge level, companies like DuPont Aerospace. Unless you're going after DuPont Aerospaces, I don't think being incorporated is going to impact you.
Okay. Okay.
What
Perfect.
what has been important with me, for me, with several clients is that they are doing business with a business entity, not with a contractor,
Yep.
right? Their procurement departments, with one client in particular, said, "Hey, we have a service for finding contractors." And my champion was able to say, "Oh, no, no, this is a supplier, this is a company, right? I carry a $1 million general liability insurance policy, a $2 million errors and omissions policy to protect my clients in case I make a mistake. I am a legitimate business." And my three biggest clients, that has all been incredibly important for them.
Okay. That's great. I appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
All right, next question.
I actually have two questions. First off, I've gone back and forth about getting a CCXP certification. It's been very awkward for me because I found myself advising many of the people who work at CXXP or CCXP. And so it was kind of like, why should I bother getting the certification? It's just extra at this point. But it seems to matter for some and it doesn't seem to matter for others. The follow-up question is also just like, did it help at all with finding clients and how did you find your first clients?
Um, I'll take that because I am a CCXP, and then Brad, maybe you can weigh in too.
Stacy is
I,
Sure.
has,
I,
yeah.
Um,
We probably all are.
yeah,
no,
so
I have a different perspective.
it's kind of like an MBA or any other credential. It's important to some people. It's completely unimportant to other people. I have had clients who have said to me, "Well, Dave, I know you're legit because you have a CCXP."
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So it has been a deciding factor in some of my clients. How did I find my first client? It's a pretty awesome story. I I was sharing my thoughts on LinkedIn, and another consultant said, uh, really agree with your perspective on CX. You seem to get it when so many others don't. I have a project. I'm too busy to do it. Would you like a referral?" And that was my first client 6 weeks into starting my business.
Wow.
Put yourself out there, grow your network, share your ideas. It's so critical because when you're just starting out, no one knows who you are.
I'd love to add on to that.
Go for it, Stacy.
All right. So, two things. One, I love CXPA. I did not get my certification from them. So, I put a link in here just as an alternative. I did it through a university experience, and we won't have enough time here to explain why I did it and what I recommend and what I learned. So, feel free to contact me, but it's just another option. Um, in terms of what Dave said, I totally agree. You have to put yourself out there. And I believe that LinkedIn is your best friend. And there's a right way to position yourself, your education, and all that you do to position yourself for that next career, for the promotion, for the job, for the new business. Um, and again, happy to share more of that too. But you don't have to be certified. Um, it's same thing with an MBA. I have an MBA. No one's ever like it didn't get me, it's nice letters and I feel smarter, but it didn't get me a job or not get a job
I will
because of
buy
it.
you a cup of coffee for your MBA next time I see you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Now, interesting, again, remember I'm a dinosaur here. Back in the day, as a woman, an MBA made me equal to non-MBAs in some jobs that I had to interview with. And again, when CXPA first started, I did it because I was supporting Bruce and Jean rather than any other reason. And I just kept it up because it was a personal thing to support them. So different reasons for different folks. But again, your knowledge and your referrals and your the bottom line is how much money do you make or save a company is probably the thing that matters when people look at you.
And what you say on LinkedIn,
Sure.
because people
Oh
are
yeah,
watching.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to encourage you to focus equally when you're thinking about certification of doing LinkedIn right.
I had to get my CCXP because I was on the board of directors and I was obliged to. And had I not been obliged to, I don't know that I would have gotten it. But now that I've been doing this consultancy thing for 10 years, for me to have the audacity as to claim to be a customer experience professional and have over 55 clients in my history, now it kind of feels right. And so I maintain and sustain it, I think a little bit along the lines of why Valerie maintains and sustains it.
Also interesting, by the way, when you say sustains it, because CXPA requires you to update it, I think, every 2 years.
Every 2 years, we have to do things, current service
Yeah.
credits, you know,
The
share in their corpus of knowledge, et cetera. Yeah.
Yeah, and the university, I don't have to sustain renew it. Again, they're both great. So you have choices.
Yep. Lindsay, did that answer your question?
It does, though it left me with another question that I don't want to like interject unless anyone else has something. Because my passion is also in employee experience. To me, they're two sides of one coin.
They are.
And I
You're
keep
right.
hearing, awesome. I keep hearing that there's employee experience certifications. I just don't know of any good ones.
There's certifications for everything.
There are.
HRMS certifications, but you know, to be honest with you, I've seen a couple. I've played around in that neck of the woods, and I like using a CX toolkit to fix EX problems much better than what HRMS folks develop. So I know I've got a personal bias on that, but I've had probably 15 clients where we only looked at the EX, and leveraging every CX tool worked perfectly.
Yep. CX, EX, UX, TX. What other X are there? XM.
DEX, digital experience.
Ooh, haven't heard that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You might also want to consider, Lindsay, what other skill sets that you could bring to the table now, like I'll use AI, that might also differentiate you as compared to just diving in and doing a certification that's going to take your time and attention away from selling and cash flow. So you know, what is it that you were planning on doing from your product perspective, and how can you increase that subject matter expertise? Because that's again what people are looking for as compared to a lot of initials.
There are, to that point, Valerie, there are tons of ways to distract yourself with things that seem like progress. You're staying busy, you're configuring your CRM, you're posting on LinkedIn, you're, writing a blog, you're doing a podcast, you're getting a certification, all this stuff, but you're not finding clients. And so for any independent consultant starting out, I would say number one, create an offer. Number two, go talk to a lot of people about it. If somebody buys it, great. Now you have your first client. Now you're an independent consultant. Now you can deliver the offer, get feedback, refine the offer, improve the offer. You're off to the races. If you talk to 50 people and nobody buys it, go back to the drawing board, make a different offer, rinse and repeat. But getting that first client is going to teach you so much. And Lindsay, I don't know, you may already have a dozen clients. I don't know. But for anybody embarking on this road, getting that first client is going to teach you so much, and help you get to that next level and solve that next level problem.
one last thing, Dave, I know that we're at the number time. Off the website where you registered for this, you can book one-on-ones with any one of us. So if you didn't get a chance to ask your question, you want to talk to us and open up a conversation, or if you did ask a question and there's even so much more to talk about, feel free to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brad.
If I
I
may
forgot.
add 10 seconds here, and hi everybody, Camila here. I started my consulting business in the beginning of this year. And one of the things that I did that helped me very much is that I went back to my contact list. And as David was saying, I started from letter A and say, hey, I have transitioned out of corporate. This is what I'm doing. So I'm at your service. And I can tell you something. I stopped at letter D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be intentional on leveraging your network because the years you have spent in corporate, they are worth it. And you can totally leverage this, right? Your
Yep.
network, your experience. And that's exactly what I did. And thankfully, from those kind of early contacts that I did in the beginning of the year, they started kind of sharing the news and referring me to other people, and clients started coming in.
So critical, Camila. Make a list of 100 people who could either hire you or introduce you to someone who can hire you and start having conversations.
Yeah, and also approach people directly on LinkedIn. I think that what Stacy shared on being intentional on LinkedIn, it's very much true. I do have my routine of getting to know new people absolutely every week. And in my to-do list, so every single person that I connect must check one of the boxes. One, potential client. Two, someone that will refer me to potential clients or be a guest on my podcast. One of the three.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
and just sorry, I have to say the last comment because I'm burning with it. Don't sell on LinkedIn. Don't sell. Share value because if they like you, they're going to want to get to know you. Please don't push and sell your agenda.
awesome.
Yes.
Thanks, Stacy. Well, thank you everybody for coming. Let us know if this was valuable. Post something in the community, send us a message, give us a thumbs up. Let us know if we should do more of these. We're out here to build the community that's going to provide value to you. So thank you for coming, and we'll see you in. Oh, and register next week. Next Thursday is our
Yep.
big monthly meeting. Big 1 hour monthly meeting. Keynote speaker we're talking about is CX Dead, I believe is the title.
It's a happy title.
Happy
Okay.
title.
Betteridge's Law. Any headline that ends in a question mark, the answer is no.
Yes. Right. Yeah. So, there you go.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Cheers.